Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'll be sharing with you guys my college journey. So this video will include my acceptance into college, but mainly the process of me getting there. So I guess this is a story time, kind of a motivational talk, and also a testimony because God was truly in the mix of it all. So just before I get into it, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel, and turn on your post notifications so you're notified when I post my next video. Here goes. Alright, so as I said before, I'll be discussing my college journey, and to do this, I'm gonna go over kind of a timeline of my life and giving you guys a little bit of backstory so that you guys are better able to understand where I'm coming from and where I am today. So I'm gonna start off like this. So I am an American citizen. I was born in the United States and I came here when I was really young. My mom had me overseas and then she came back. I probably wasn't even 2 or maybe not even 1 when I came back. So I've been in Jamaica living here ever since. I went to Glenmere Preparatory School and then I graduated Glenmere Prep and I went to Glenmere High School. Big up all the colored people. So after completing Glenmere High, I graduated in 2015 with 9 subjects. So I wanted to continue at Glenmere for their 6th form program. However, I was put on a wait list, and this was because I wanted to do chemistry at the Cape level. However, I got a grade 3 in the CSEC. So they put me on the wait list and they're like, oh, they're gonna reach out to me closer to the time because they have to, I guess, pick people who have a better score or better grades than I did. So I was like, all right, cool. So I felt very discouraged, obviously, because all your friends that go back at Glenmere and I wanted to go back too, but then all right, whatever, me put my wait list. So I had in my back pocket that I would go to Bel Air High School in Mandeville because it would be an easy so I had in my mind that I would go to Bel Air High School. Me and my mom discussed it and we were like, alright, it's a good pick because I would have family there that I can stay with, and so said, so done. So the day when I was supposed to hear back from Glenmere, I went back to the school and they said that they rejected me for their 6th form program. So I was like, alright, cool. Mind you, I felt very, very odd because I say, yo, look how much sitting me do for Glenmere. Like, I was fully president of the dance society, me the assistant prefect. Like, there were so many other things that I say, like, you could have reconsidered still. And I kind of felt away because normally they tell you that you must be in extracurricular activities and all that stuff, and it's almost like the same extracurricular activities that I was involved with didn't tell me one bit. Anyways, that's that. So the same day I got rejected from Glenmere, I went straight to Bel Air High and I enrolled there. I paid my school fee and everything, and I got my ties and the little crest that they give you for the shirt and everything. I'm really kind of feel good, and I come and say, alright, cool, somebody accept me and I feel good, whatever. So we went straight to dressmaker after that and took my measurements and everything to get the uniforms made. So that same evening, I think literally after I got home from dressmaker and everything, I missed a call from a business number, and I didn't know who the number was until the next day. I told my mom, I was like, I missed this call and whatever. So she was gonna tell me that this was Glenmere calling back to tell me that they've accepted me. So I was like, I think not. Like, she was asking me, do you think you want to just give up Bel Air and go back to Glenmere? And I was like, no, because I just started to feel different. I was like, alright, new beginnings, new me, new surroundings, new everything. Like, why not? So I was really excited for this because I was like, I can venture into this school, new slate. Like, I kind of felt like a brand new person. Alright, so I started Bel Air, and you guys all know that the 6th form program lasts for 2 years. So I was like, alright, I'll be moving to Mandeville for these next 2 years. So by this, I am now thinking, okay, college is around the corner. I don't want to go to college in Jamaica because I'm an American citizen, so why waste a great opportunity to go and study overseas? So I started looking into the process of that. Mind you, I feel like I guess it depends on the school that you go to, because at Glenmere I was never given like a prep or a guide to college, which I feel like is very back a wall, because a lot of students want to study abroad, and then there is just no guidance for that. Like when I went to Bel Air, they started asking us like, you guys want to go study abroad, you know, like my guidance counselor was very versed and helpful in the steps on which to take to go abroad. And I was like, you know, I never got this at Lemire. However, don't think that they were all good either, because they still were lacking. However, the good thing about Bel Air is that they were a private institution, and so they offered SAT classes and, you know, all that stuff, because, you know, Bel Air school, very rich people, all that, you know, that stigma associated with the school. So they had SAT classes, and I was like, all right. So I started researching. So by this, my cousin had already gone through this whole process, and she was already enrolled in college. So I was like, oh, maybe, you know, I can get some help to understand things a little better. So she did help me she did help me very much. Her name is Brittany, and I guess you guys will meet her sometime later in my channel. But yes, she helped me understand the process of getting into college and everything like that. So she went to a SAT course, or like a, I don't know what you call it, like a prep guide thing in Kingston. And I did not get that luxury to do that, because, you know, I feel like knowledge is power, and when you really don't know something, you just really don't know. So I took the SAT classes at Bel Air, and it was funny because the January following that year, which would have been the January of 2016, would have been the last SAT sitting of the old SAT, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Because SAT, I guess they revamp their exam every now and again, and the January of the 2016, mind you, I just started Bel Air, that's September of 2015. So the January would have been the last sitting of the old SAT. So I was already going to classes from September all the way up until January. So I'm like, what's the point of me wasting all this knowledge and wasting all this prep that I did for the old SAT to start prep for the new SAT? So yeah, I was like, I'm gonna just do it. So I did it, and I got a score of 1370, which I think at the time was a bad score, or maybe not a bad score, but a very mediocre score. But I was like, all right, at least I winged it, you know, I tried. And this was in January. Mind you, the SAT would have been changing March. So I was like, all right, no, the decision was, should I continue doing SAT classes, or should I at least try applying to schools with this SAT score that I already have? So I was like, all right, I'm just going to use this score and try to apply to a few schools and see what the responses are like. And then this will determine if I need to retake the exam and then go at this whole thing again. So I started applying. I applied to about 10 schools, and I got 2 acceptances out of the 10. So I got acceptance from FIT, which is Florida Institute of Technology, and then I also got an acceptance from Barry University. However, their acceptance was a conditional one, and I think they were saying that I needed to come in for a year to do kind of like a pre-program to see how like I perform in that year, and then they would accept me into the program. So for those who watched my video before this, you guys know that I'm on the path to medical school. So my major was pre-med, or biomedical sciences, sorry. So I was like, no, I don't want to be conditionally accepted. I want to get right into the program. Maybe me did jump it, I don't know. But anyway, I got a full acceptance to FIT. And so my mom was like, all right, let's check it out. So anyway, I was there. I got the thing in the mail, and it was like a pretty package. I was so excited. I was like, hey, I'm getting a college, blah blah blah. So anyway, I finally talked to mommy about it, whatever. So we went to Florida, you know, jump up now, take plane, go foreign, figure look on the school, because I said, all right, maybe. So my goal in all this was that maybe if I finish first year of Bel Air, I won't have to do the second part, because I would be going to college, which it was on track to do that. So it was April now, and we went to Florida to look at the school. So me and mommy drive to the school, and we looked at the whole campus. It was really beautiful. I was like, oh, the school is really cute. However, the place kind of country, so it was like very lonely. However, I was like, all right, cool, me do it, you know, like it's school, like as long as I get this degree, I'm fine. So we went to talk with the financial advisor at the school, and she was like, the school's tuition was basically $60,000, and I was just like, So me and mommy were in the office and we're like looking at each other like, okay. So mommy asked the lady, she was like, oh, is there any financial aid or anything, any scholarships or anything that we can get? So she was basically saying that the town is very small, and like she was giving us some excuses, and like that basically they don't have any aids, and the only aid you'll get is like if you actually start going to the school and get involved in certain things, then you can get grants from that. So she was like talking about like cheerleading and that you can get money for that and all sorts of stuff. And I was just like, okay, but the grant was basically, the cheerleading grant was $1,000. I was like, all right, so where the next 59 I gonna come from? So me and mommy left and we were like, all right, we have to go back to the drawing board because this school is very expensive and that money just not easy to find. Like you can't just take up 60 US grand of $60,000 US off a ground or off a tree. Yeah, so we came back home now to Jamaica and we were like, all right, we have to do this whole thing again. So I was still applying to schools, sending out a lot of different applications. However, I feel like, again, as I said before, knowledge is power, because I was very, very oblivious to a lot of the processes and the way in which the acceptance thing works. So I was just sending out applications on Common App, which is a free application engine, and I was just doing this and sending it to like a bunch of schools. I probably reached to about 30 schools, and it's just that I was just so ignorant. Like I didn't know how to do it or what to do, so I was just sending out the first level of applications. I wasn't answering the questions, I wasn't doing anything, because I just felt like, all right, once the application is there, then at least they'll know that I applied to the school. So I wasn't getting any responses, and I was like, all right, maybe I did something wrong. However, time passed, and it was back again at September, time to go to upper 6, which I was trying to avoid. Anyways, I went to upper 6 and I was like, all right, I'll just apply for college for the following fall. Mind you, there's not a lot of time, because this is the year now where people are start applying to school. So whoever want to go UAE, you will take them something, start apply already. And I was just like, all right, I just really don't know what to do. So I sat down with my guidance counselor. We were talking about just like, you know, where I would want to go for school and everything. But again, this is why I say knowledge is power, because he really didn't know all the details or like all the information that I needed to know to apply for schools. So then one day now I came home from school. So mind you, I was in Mandeville, as I said before, and so I usually come home on the weekends. And so I came home, and when I came home there was some mail for me. So when I looked through the mail, I noticed that there was a mail from Howard. It was like a package. I was like, oh my god, like what? So I thought that it was probably one of those little brochures, you know, telling me about the school, like the information packets or something. When I opened it, it said, congratulations Brianna Kelly, talk up my full name, everything. You have been accepted and and you know the full works. And I was like, okay. So I was in my mind, I said, this must be God. So me start send to mommy, me send to my cousin them. I was like, yeah, me ready, you know, whatever. So the funny thing is that the day that I received the package, or the day that I opened the package at least, was the day that the deadline was to pay the fee, the enrollment fee. So I was like, no, this is a good man, because how, like, you know, how me just get the package on the same day, me get it at the day me need to pay. So I paid the fee. Me and mommy sit down and paid the fee the evening. It was like 200. No, was it 200? I don't even remember. It was some money. So I paid the fee, and me and mommy now, we go to the drawing board. She start talk about like plans, you know, when whatever me go to school, and you know all of that. It was like a really exciting moment. But then a reality kind of started hitting me, because I said the only thing I submitted to Howard was the common application. Like there was really no supplemental information sent. I did not send them a CSEC, CAPE or anything result. There was no transcripts. So it kind of sketchy in my head, but then at the same time I feel like my judgment was clouded because I didn't get accepted. So a few days passed now, and I was like needing more information about the school. So I started calling them, but I wasn't getting through. So I started asking my friend. I was like, you know, if you can get through to the office, like what number to call. And she was explaining, you know, because it's a large university, it's kind of hard to get in contact with someone. However, I still tried and I tried until I finally get a response. So I was on the phone with their representative, and they have a thing that you tell them your ID number because they need to find out who you are that's calling. So they were at, are you an incoming student, current student, blah blah blah. So I said incoming. So I talked to the man and he was like, what's your ID number? So I gave him the ID number that was on the paper. I'm sorry, ma'am, can you repeat that? So I repeated the number and I gave it to him again. He's like, oh, he can't find me in the system. So I was like, huh? Like, what does that mean? So he's like, he's putting in the ID number that I'm giving him and he's not able to find me in the system. So by this now, I'm like, but that doesn't make sense. So he's like, all right, let me try another way, like, take my name and everything. So I gave him my name. I think he asked for date of birth. I don't even remember, but I gave him my information and he's like, yes, I still can't find you. However, I do see that you have an application on file. So I'm like, no, but that doesn't make sense because I got a letter in the mail from you guys stating that I was awarded a position and I was accepted. So what do you mean? And I was like, I also paid the enrollment fee like a few days ago and I'm now just calling to get more information and whatever. Yeah, but I can't find you. So I was like, well, something I forgot to do because I don't understand. So he put me through to his I guess his like supervisor, and I spoke with the person. He was like, they're not seeing me in the system and they're gonna get back to me. So they are taking my number and then they'll send me an email or they'll call me back. So I was like, all right. So I started telling him, like, this don't make sense. Like, what do you mean by them can't find me in the system? But I was like, I'm still not gonna get worked up. I'm gonna wait to see what they're saying. So a few days passed and I was kind of like, what with them, they like them can't find me, I don't know. So I finally got a call one day and the guy was like, he's sorry to tell me that the acceptance letter was an error. So I was like, what do you mean? Like, how do you guys make such an error? He was like, there was a batch of acceptance letters that were sent out in error, and I got one of them. So now this was too much for me to bear. So me give the phone to mommy because me I say this I don't make no sense. It sound like foolish. So mommy now start talk to the guy. She's like, this doesn't make sense. It's very unprofessional. How can it be acceptance in error? Like, you guys sent a package. We paid the enrollment fee and all of that. So what's gonna happen? So he said, I guess in an effort to save themselves, he said, okay, what I'll do for you is I'll take all your information. So go ahead and send your transcripts, your CSEC and CAPE results and everything, I guess in an effort to still give me a chance at being accepted into the school. So I did that. Mind you, I was still communicating with other schools like Nova and like FIU and all those other schools that I was still communicating with their counselors and everything, but I put them on pause because I was like, I'm getting an award, so I'm gonna need them. So I think it was like a month or more that passed because this was in like the June era of the year, and then I was still waiting to hear from them. No, actually this was in May and I was still waiting to hear from Howard all the way until like June or July. So by now, Nova and all the other schools that were interested in me, nobody interested because me just stopped responding to them. So I was upset one day and I was like, mommy, them better accept me now because them basically I take long to tell me if me go get in or not. So I called them one day and they were like, they're gonna get back to me tomorrow with a response. So tomorrow come and I got a call from them. So they're like, okay, they went through my application and all of my results and everything, and I did not meet their standards or their like criteria or whatever to be accepted. So I was like, but I still got this letter though, so what do you mean? So by this moment we started talking to a lot of different people and stuff, and people were recommending her to get a lawyer because she was like, they were like, this is stupid, like this doesn't make sense. They can't send a letter and then want to revoke it, just like that, because it's not our fault that it was an error, it was theirs. However, I think mom was just like, she can't bother get into that lawyer stuff, and like, what the point if you do all of that just for getting in one school? So we basically squashed Howard. Now how we gonna get back with money? So we were in a back and forth with them over the money, and They finally tried to refund me. It was taking a lot of time. Then they're like, oh, but we're gonna take the $45 application fee out of the money that I paid for the enrollment fee, because remember that in the initial I didn't really do the application, I only sent in the free application. So they're like, okay, for all the processing that they did, which was still on them, they need to take $45 out of the money and send mommy back the remainder. So I was like, I just really know nothing about it, because after you come reject me, do all this foolish, you still want application fee. So anyways, that was that with Howard, and that squash.